The Israeli army is one of the world's largest arms importers and receives substantial support from Western nations both financially and politically. The United States alone gives Tel Aviv at least $4 billion annually in military aid. Add to that the millions of dollars from the UK, Germany, France, and Canada. Despite the global support it receives, Israel has failed in both the goals it set since launching its brutal, ongoing war on Palestine's Gaza in October, eliminating Hamas and rescuing its hostages from the besieged enclave. This failure has raised questions regarding the Israeli army's effectiveness and reliability, but these questions are not new. During the Second Israel-Lebanon War in 2006, Israel came under heavy scrutiny both domestically and internationally after it failed to subdue Hezbollah or retrieve its captured soldiers alive, despite backing from the West. But why is Israel failing to achieve its goals? In 2012, a RAND Corporation report highlighted that the Israeli army had severe operational and strategic deficiencies. Criticizing the army's preparedness for war, Yitzhak Brick, ex-ombudsman of the Israeli military, also revealed that the army faced systematic issues, including inadequate training and logistical support, which made it unprepared for large-scale conflicts. These logistical, strategic, and disciplinary shortcomings were reflected in the army's reaction to the October 7 Hamas attack. Despite reports that indicated the possibility of an attack, Israeli forces failed to act preventatively, which cost them 250 hostages, half of whom are still in Hamas custody, and a long-term, debilitating war that has cost Israel over $60 billion. After declaring war on October 8, Tel Aviv repeatedly violated international law. Using Lavender, an AI system developed by the Israeli military's Elite Intelligence Division Unit 8200, the Israeli army identified tens of thousands of civilians as potential terrorists and legitimate targets. They have also killed foreign aid workers and media crews, as well as Israeli hostages carrying white flags and Israeli soldiers with friendly fire. Afterwards, they proceeded to investigate matters. On the other hand, there are complaints within the ranks. According to Haaretz, new conscripts to the army were deployed to Gaza with minimal training, and although Israeli army spokesperson Daniel Hagari denied such a dire situation, Israeli media reported that soldiers were sent to Gaza without even water bottles. The army also opened a hotline to address the lack of equipment in the reserve units and carried out donation campaigns for basic items such as portable chargers, underwear, hygiene products, and toiletries. But army morale is already declining, and an increasing number of reservists are abstaining from service. There's also a significant degree of disorder within the army's ranks, with increasing reports of misconduct amongst soldiers. This includes looting and vandalism in Gaza that Israeli soldiers proudly broadcast on social media in a mocking, malevolent tone, shattering Israel's claims that its army is the most moral of all and critically impacting its image. This has been aggravated by official statements that were disproven by independent investigations and media reports, such as the misinterpretation of a calendar as a list including names of Hamas fighters. What's more, Hamas, the alleged target of Israel's onslaught, are still operating across Gaza more than 8 months into the war. They were able to infiltrate Israeli lines outside of Gaza on June 6, 2024, 244 days into the war. Additionally, the army has been at the center of self-serving rivalries. Retired members of the military asserted that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been manipulating military operations to serve his political interests, aiming to satisfy his nationalist base and to prevent far-right parties from abandoning his government, while Netanyahu's wife claims that members of the army itself are planning a coup to topple the government. The army's failure to achieve both of its goals in Gaza despite the prolonged war has cast doubt on the myth of the invincible army. Between the misallocation of resources, soldier misconduct, logistical and strategic inefficiency, and individual political grievances, the Israeli army is being accused of strategic myopia and has admitted to major losses despite the extensive Western support it receives. Will the mounting shortcomings of the Israeli army cause Western nations to reassess their investments in Tel Aviv?